Now, if you're watching this review, you probably already know what Hajimete no Gal is, and if you do, I think you should know what to expect. My First Girlfriend is a Gal is your average bland generic wannabe harem anime, and if you looked at the reviews on my anime list, you'd see it's not the most well received, but going into this anime with a fresh mind and no expectations, I can definitely say I enjoyed Hajimete no Gal for what it is. Hajimete no Gal, story-wise, if you can even call it that, begins with Shinichi's friends forcing him to confess to Yame Yukana, and to his surprise, she actually accepts his confession and they start dating. And that's kind of like what the whole premise of this, the 10 episode anime is focused on, and that's like just the starting point of all the hilarity that ensues from that point onwards. Anyway, I watched the dub of this anime, which is quite possibly the best thing about this anime. It's like watching an abridged anime series, except this isn't an official dub, and I won't lie, I found myself laughing my ass off at some of the jokes in this. Also, the fan service is pretty decent if that's what you're looking for. I recommend the dub over the sub for this one, since I've heard the sub keeps it pretty generic and doesn't have any of the hilarity of the dub, or at the very least doesn't have as much as the dub does, which I must emphasize, the dub is probably the best part about this anime. Also, the characters are pretty generic, and forgettable. Junichi is par for the course for an anime like this, pretty like cookie cutter basic, and his friends Shinpai, Kaijo, and also future pedophile. Yeah, no joke, this whole character is just a major creep.
そんなことよりも、見てよこれ。この辺りの可愛いどこにすか、た地図さ、すごい？
ミノル、おそらくそう遠くない未来に、お前の目の前に法の番人がやってくる。頼むからその時、俺たちの名前を出さないでくれ。
照れちゃって。
いや、そういう意味じゃない。
Thankfully, he's rarely given the spotlight and isn't highlighted too much at all in the series, but many rants aside, his friends aren't anything all that notable, but they definitely have some funny moments in the anime for sure that really made me laugh a few times. Now, also, the girl cast isn't anything great either. Ranko has her moments, and Yui and Nene are kinda just there with maybe a few notable scenes that made me smile, but other than Yame and Ranko, I can't really say much about the other characters besides Nene being a high schooler in a child's body and Yui being downright forgettable and is probably one of the weaker characters of the show in my opinion. Anyway, I thought the most redeeming quality of Hajimete no Gal, besides the fucking hilarious dub, which again, I highly recommend you watch the dub over the sub, is how Yame and Junichi's relationship actually has some development, unlike some harem anime that usually suffer because of a lack of a development between, say, the main girl and the main character. There's usually they never usually decide on one girl. They just have all of them, and it's never really focused on in a lot of other harem anime. So I gotta praise this show for doing that right, even if it wasn't anything special. But I do have my own gripes with the show. Like, I do wish they explored the relationship a bit more, like a bit more in depth, and tried to do more things with the characters. Because even though they did get development, they didn't get as much development as I would have liked in a show like this. But again, I still think it was overall pretty decent, and I just like how they actually did try to have some sort of development. But I digress. I'm sure not everyone is going to like this show. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just a generic harem wannabe fanservice anime, and it does have a funny dub there, and the characters are pretty bland. Overall, like, despite all that stuff, I still liked it, regardless. Would I recommend you buy the show? Probably not. But if you like fan service and you like fucking hilarious dubs, then I would recommend at least streaming this and giving it a watch yourself, as I found the show to be quite enjoyable for what it was. And again, folks, let's just say, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section below if I should do more reviews like this in the future, and have a good day.
It got me feeling like I wanna take her home. make it home. She got that